Hello, and welcome to the 2026 Volunteer Firefighter Annual Reporting Presentation. Volunteer Fire Annual Reporting consists of two parts. First, we will cover the paper reporting process. Next, we'll cover the electronic reporting process. To wrap up this presentation, we'll cover some frequently asked questions. Before we get started with the paper and electronic reporting processes, it is important to understand the service credit eligibility for all volunteer firefighters. A volunteer firefighter must attend 50% of the business meetings, fire drills, and emergency responses they are held accountable to attend by their department. For example, if you have a volunteer firefighter who is at their day job, is on personal or professional travel, or who has fallen ill during any periods of business meetings, fire drills, and/or emergency responses, the chief has the discretion to excuse the volunteer from those requirements. The State Fire Marshal's Office strongly recommends that you document any volunteer fire member who is excused from any event. Let's dive into the paper reporting process. The forms can be found at www.nmpara.org under the For Employers Annual Reporting Guidance tabs. There will be up to 7 forms that you will need to utilize during the paper reporting process. First, we'll review the VF Annual Service Credit Qualification for New Members form. Any member added to your department's roster for the first time in this reporting period should be listed on this form. In Section 1, please record your VFD name, 5-digit VFD number, in the county in which your department resides. Use one line to record each new member, including their full 9-digit Social Security number, legal name, mailing address, date of birth, and check yes or no for service credit eligibility. The chief or chief's designee will need to sign and complete Section 3. Use additional sheets if necessary. If the department did not add any new VF members this reporting season, you do not need to complete this form. In addition to listing new VF members on the Service Credit Qualification form, each new volunteer will be required to complete a member enrollment for VF form, as well as provide a copy of their driver's license and Social Security card. These supporting documents are required to ensure PARA's database contains verified information, as nicknames and unverified SSNs are not allowed. The VF member will need to complete Section 1. Section 2 is only required if the volunteer is married at the time of enrollment. The volunteer should also sign and date Section 3. The chief or chief's designee will need to complete Section 4 in its entirety. Please note, PARA cannot process the form without the VFD number and start date clearly reflected. Departments should submit the completed forms and supporting documentation to PARA each month as new members are added, but no later than January 1st of each year. Next up, we have the VF Annual Service Credit Qualification Record for Current Returning Members form. This form is specifically used to report members who volunteered in the previous reporting period and continue to volunteer in the current reporting period. Section 1 should reflect the VFD name, 5-digit VFD number, in the county in which the department resides. Section 2 is where you will list each returning member's full 9-digit Social Security number, legal name, mailing address, date of birth, and yes or no for VF service credit eligibility. Section 3 needs to be signed and completed by the chief or chief's designee. Use additional sheets as necessary. Next, we have our VF Annual Service Credit Qualification Record for Retired Members form. Section 1 should include the VFD name, 5-digit VFD number, and county in which the department resides. Section 2 should reflect VF members who are currently drawing a VF pension from PARA who elect to continue volunteering. Since PARA requires entities to report 100% of their roster, VF retirees must also be reported. Please record the VF retiree's 9-digit SSN, legal name, mailing address, and DOB, as well as whether they met VF service credit eligibility requirements. Section 3 requires the chief or designee's signature, title, and date. Use additional sheets if necessary. The VF record for excluded members form is up next. VF members who are not interested in accruing VF benefits under PARA are eligible to exclude from membership. Section 1 requires the VFD name, 5-digit VFD number, and county in which the department resides. Section 2. Please list each excluded member's last 4 of Social Security number, legal name, and date of birth. In the final column, indicate if the member has completed an exclusion form. The VF exclusion form will be covered on the next slide. If the member completed the exclusion form during a previous reporting season, it does not need to be completed or submitted again. Section 3 required the chief or a chief's designee signature, title, and date. Use additional sheets if necessary. As discussed on the previous slide, the VF exclusion form needs to be completed and signed by each member who is not interested in earning VF benefits under PARA. Section 1 requires the VF member's demographic information. Section 2 includes a statement indicating the member is waiving their right to future benefits. It is important to note the exclusion can be revoked at any time by completing a member enrollment form. Just a reminder, any years of service credit that were excluded cannot be reclaimed in the future. Section 2 requires the member's signature and date. Section 3 should be completed by the chief or chief's designee to include the VFD number and start date. Last but not least, the VF annual reporting form. Please complete Section 1 with the requested VFD information to include your 5-digit PARA VFD number. Section 2 requires you to reference your service credit qualification and exclusion reports and tally each category of VF member. Each member on your roster should only be listed in one category for the current reporting season. Line 5 requires you to add up all of those numbers, and it should match all of the members listed on your roster. Section 3 calls for the chief's notarized signature. This means the notary is witnessing your signature, and it is imperative that the date of signature and date of notarization match in this section. Section 4 requires the signature of the mayor or chair of county commission that oversees your VFD. Once the annual reporting and applicable service credit qualification or exclusion report forms are completed, signed, dated, and notarized, please make a copy to be retained by your department for future reference and auditing purposes. You can submit the completed forms via fax, email, or mail. If you are opting for mail, please use the tracking feature with delivery or signature confirmation to track your annual reporting packet. The completed packet must be received no later than March 31st, 2026 to comply with state statute. The packet should include any new member enrollment forms and exclusion forms, supplemental documentation not previously submitted to PARA for processing. Next, we'll discuss the electronic reporting process. PARA will require the VFD contact info form to create an online reporting user ID and password for the chief or reporting person. The chief is welcome to complete both the paper and electronic reporting, or the electronic reporting task can be delegated to the different person by providing that person's name, phone number, and email address in Section 3 of this form. Section 5 requires the chief's signature and date. Please return the completed form by email, fax, or mail. Sooner is always better than later. Once the VFD contact info form has been processed by PARA, the reporting person or persons will receive a series of emails from para-rio helpdesk at state.nm.us. Reporting personnel are strongly encouraged to use copy and paste to transfer the temporary password from the email to the login screen on the reporting website. Staff will follow up with an email containing the reporter's user ID, a link to the reporting portal, and a reporting guide. Once you arrive at the reporting portal, using the provided link or visiting www.nmpara.org and clicking on the yellow button at the top of the website, you will need to click on the Login button on the menu bar at the top of the reporting portal. The reporting person will need to enter their provided user ID and temporary password. As a reminder, copy and paste is strongly recommended to avoid confusion between letters and numbers that appear to be similar. When you log in for the first time, you will be presented with a Terms and Conditions page. You must click on the I agree button to proceed. Please note, once PARA sends the temporary password, it is only valid for 48 hours. We encourage reporting person or persons to sign in and update their password to avoid being locked out. You will be prompted to set up a secret question and answer that will help you reset your password in the future in the event you have locked yourself out. Passwords must be 8 characters long and include letters, numbers, and at least one approved symbol. As a reminder, user IDs and passwords must never be shared. This is to protect the sensitive information accessible in the portal. Once you are logged in as the reporting person or chief, please note the reporting guide will walk you through these remaining steps. Everything you need to complete will be found on the Work on Reports tab. When you land on this page, you will need to create a new report. This step is also known as creating the report shell. When you click on the Create a New Report link, it will redirect you to the report creation form. Your start date should be January 1st of the current reporting season. Your end date should be December 31st of the same year. For example, January 1st, 2025 will be your start date, and December 31st, 2025 will be your end date. The important step on this screen is to click the last radio button below the dates you just entered. It should always reflect Create a Report with no member records. The other options presented only apply to entities who pay a salary and biweekly contributions to PARA. Click Next. The system should send you back out to the Work on Reports tab. In the Regular Reports section, you will find your report shell. Click on the word Edit. The next screen that loads will allow you to enter the Social Security numbers from your paper reporting forms. One member at a time, you will need to enter the verified member's full 9-digit Social Security number. Click on Add. The system will redirect you to a new screen that allows you to add a record. The new screen that opens will either be populated with the member's personal demographic information or blank. If you have submitted the Enrollment for VF member form and supporting documentation prior to beginning the electronic reporting process, the member's name, date of birth, and address will be reflected on the left side of the screen. If the screen loads blank, one of two things is occurring. The member is new and PARA has not received or processed their new member enrollment packet. In this case, you will manually need to enter the member's legal name, date of birth, and mailing address from your paper report and supporting documentation. If you've typed an SSN for a member who volunteered in a previous reporting season and the screen loads blank, there's a strong possibility the SSN entered into the report does not match the SSN in PARA system. Please ensure you are using and entering verified SSNs only. On the right side of the same screen, it is imperative that you modify nothing other than the last line. If the paper report marks yes for service credit eligibility, change the radio button to yes. If the paper report is marked no, ensure the radio button is marked no. Do not change any other field under any circumstances, otherwise your report will suspend in the system. After you have verified the information has been entered correctly, please click Save. The system will redirect you to the page that allows you to add additional members. Continue until all non-retired members have been added to your electronic report. Do not enter retired members into the electronic report or your report will suspend in the system. Once all the non-retired, non-excluded members have been entered into the system, you will need to return to the Work on Reports tab. Under the Regular Reports section, you will see your report listed. You need to locate the word Unconfirmed and click on it. The system will run a soft check of the information that has been entered. If your report remains in added or suspended status, please note the report will not post and must be resolved in a timely manner. The View Totals tab will allow you to review your electronic report. Please note the system shuts down for nightly batch every night at 8 p.m. If you are in the system past this time, you will be kicked out of the reporting portal. In some rare instances, the system has been known to post incomplete reports. If you need to modify your posted electronic report, please contact PARA's outreach team. Once your report is in accepted status, please scroll to the bottom of the Work on Reports screen until you see the Validate button. Please click it and then click OK. The system will confirm the action by notifying you the report will be run through the overnight batch for processing. If your report shows it is suspended, we offer a Q&A section in our guide and this training to help you resolve most issues. You can select suspended records one at a time with a description of the issue holding up the report. Failure to resolve suspended records means you and your members will not earn service credit until the report is successfully posted. As noted in previous slides, PARA's annual reporting guide is available on PARA's website and will walk you through this process step by step. You can also play back this recording as needed. If you require additional assistance, please contact PARA's outreach team at the information provided in this presentation. Now on to annual VF reporting frequently asked questions. This slide reflects common error messages encountered with suspended records during the electronic reporting process. If you receive an error message that indicates the Social Security number is not recognized by the system or the person doesn't have matching employment or position, it typically means we need their member enrollment form, possibly also their driver's license and Social Security card. The third error message on this screen is related to entering VF retirees into the electronic reportal. As a reminder, they should not only be reported to para on paper. If you receive this message, you can delete that record from the electronic report or reach out to para to assist. The last error message about the account being under construction can only be resolved by para staff. Please reach out to us if you receive any other error messages. Some commonly asked questions about the overall process. What if a volunteer is no longer volunteering with the department and we cannot reach them? Para will still require the member enrollment form. Please indicate in Section 3 that the member is not available for signature. The chief will be required to provide and/or certify the remaining demographic and department information. What if the department missed several years of previous reporting? Individual members under the current laws can adjust their last 2 years of reporting with the appropriate form. Please have your members contact para directly. What if a member passed away during their active volunteerism? Please report that individual on the paper report only and indicate their date of death if known. Additional frequently asked questions. Do I have to list all returning current members every year? Yes. Para needs 100% of your roster, meaning all members, whether they're returning, current, new, retired, and/or excluded, on the paper reporting. Do I still have to do the paper and electronic report even if no one met VF service credit for the year? Yes, 100% of roster. The reporting is a statutory requirement every year regardless of whether everyone or no one met that requirement. Can para tell me who was reported in the previous year? Technically, the department should have a roster in their possession. Para may be able to provide a redacted version of the previous year's report. However, we cannot release your VFD members' full Social Security numbers. Please keep a copy of your annual VF report forms for future reference. A few important notes to wrap up this presentation. No correction tape, fluid, or strike-throughs are allowed on your paper reports to maintain the integrity of your report. Para staff is here to help, but please do not wait until March 31st to reach out. Reporting season begins January 1, and the sooner you start, the easier the process will be. We appreciate your time and attention to this important task. As a reminder, paper and electronic reports must be submitted no later than Monday, March 31st, 2026. There are no exceptions. If you miss this deadline, neither you or your hardworking volunteers will receive service credit for 2025. Thank you all for joining us for this important presentation. Contact information for the Outreach Bureau can be found on this slide. Please note, as the outreach team, we wear many hats, so we are typically not sitting around at the Jefferson address waiting for volunteer fire inquiries to show up in person. If you need to meet with us in person, please email us. Either email address goes to the outreach team. If you need to call us because technology is not your friend, when you call the toll-free number, let them know you're trying to reach someone in outreach about the volunteer fire reporting season and include a daytime phone number where we can reach you. The fax number listed above the email addresses goes straight to the outreach team. We typically try our best to respond the same day or the next business day at the latest. Thank you all so much for your time and dedication to New Mexico communities. Stay safe.